Hi guys, Betsey here with another Pilates fusion class for you. So we're going to be mixing our Pilates and our yoga into one. Go ahead, start at the back of your mat. You don't need any props, anything around you, just a mat or a space on the floor. Feet about hips-width distance apart. Inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, fold it all the way forward. Let the head hang heavy at the bottom. Shake the neck a little. Grab opposite elbows. So find a deep bend in those knees. Really think about sending that tailbone high. Maybe sway a little side to side. Breathing. Then go ahead, release those hands down to the mat. Deep bend in the knees, walk it out. Find your downward facing dog. So pressing the palms equally into the mat, spreading through the fingers. So again, you can have that deep bend in the knees. Maybe you start to find some length behind the legs. Shoulders release down the back. Now from here, rise up high onto those toes, glide it forward, find your plank. If you need to adjust, do so. Get those shoulders right over the wrist. Knees can always be lowered here. Legs are engaged, squeeze through the glutes, core is strong. One more inhale. Exhale, release the knees down to the mat, come into your tabletop. Knees under hips, palms underneath shoulders, moving through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, release the gaze. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Couple more times, just warming up through the spine. Adding in any extra movement that would feel good here. Let's find one more full round of breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, come back through center. So let's find our neutral spine. Really pull in through that low tummy. Tailbone is long. Keep those shoulders over the palms. Keep pressing the floor away. Now tuck those toes on the mat. From here, keeping everything the same, we're just gonna hover those knees off of the mat. So really feel that pull in through the tummy. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lower. Couple more times through this. Being intentional, so trying not to just pull the knees in or around through that upper back. Next time you hover those knees, go ahead and hold. Option to stay with what we were just working through, or step one foot back, the other foot back, come into your plank. Walk it back in and in. Try to keep the hips level as we walk back, back, in. One more full round here. We're gonna meet in that plank. Next time you walk it back, find your plank hold. Maybe you widen the feet. Maybe you release the knees. From here, coming into shoulder taps. Bring that right palm to the left shoulder, release. Left palm to right shoulder, release. Tapping side to side. Try to keep the hips level. Pull in through that tummy for 3. Can always just be holding your plank. 2. Last one each way. Go ahead, lower the knees down. Lower those forearms down. So take a moment. Find your modified forearm plank. Elbows right underneath the shoulders. Starting out with knees lowered. Maybe send them a little wider here. Find that engagement through the core. Make sure you have that long line from the crown of the head out through that tailbone. Pulling everything toward that center line. Start to reach one hand forward, back in. Reach the opposite, back in. Little taps forward and forward. The arm doesn't even have to leave the mat hardly. If you want to make this a little smaller range, maybe you slide, slide. Maybe you pick the arm up and really reach. Use those glutes. Use that core. Once again, we have 3. Make sure you're breathing for 2. Last one each way. Come back. Find your forearm plank. Make sure elbows underneath shoulders. You can stay holding here with the knees lowered, or maybe you tuck the toes, lift the knees, hold. Breathe. Just a static hold here. Lifting that chest away from the mat. One more inhale. Exhale, send the knees wide. Set the hips back, come into your child's pose. Reach the arms forward. Deep breath into the belly. Exhale, release it back out. Nice job. Go ahead, press those palms into the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, come into your downward facing dog. Letting one heel release and then the other. Shake the head a little. Coming from our downward facing dog, once again, start to glide it forward. Find that plank pose. Release the knees, release the chest all the way down to the mat. Starting out, tops of the feet press into the mat. Legs are about hips width distance. Bring those arms back by your sides, pinkies toward the ceiling. Let the forehead release. We're gonna get into some back work, some tricep work here. Tailbone is long. Think about pulling that tummy away from the mat. Find engagement through the glutes. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift those pinkies toward the ceiling. Keeping the arms there, lower the chest back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Try to keep those arms lifted at the same height. We're moving just the head and the chest here. Really press those pinkies high. Squeeze those palms in toward the body. 2 more. Exhale, release. Last one here. Inhale, lift. Holding here, you can always release the head, the chest if you need to. Lower those thumbs to meet the mat. Lift back up. Lowering, lifting. Keep the back of the neck long here. Little lower and lift. Make sure you're still breathing. We're gonna hold at the top in 3. Shoulders roll back and down, 2. Last one here, hold at the top, little pulses higher and higher. Squeezing through the backs of the arms. Give those palms a little squeeze in toward the sides. Pulsing for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down, take a moment. Rock the hips, rock the head a little side to side. And then press the palms underneath the chest, tuck the toes. Coming up, finding your modified plank here. So you're always welcome to lift the knees. We're gonna begin in this modified. Hands are out wide, coming into some wide arm push-ups with a little build on. So finding that long spine, slight tuck of the tailbone, engage through the core. Lowering chest down between the hands, elbows wide, lifting. Bring that left palm to meet the right, step it back out, lowering, lift, bring that right palm to meet the left, step it out. So finding that little chest squeeze as we bring the palms toward each other in between each push-up. If you want, you can stick with just the push-ups. You can also change your range of motion here. So if you feel dipping in that low back, don't go as low into that push-up. Let's do 2 more each way. Neck is long. Last one, bring it together. Come back out, lower, lift, set it back, take a moment, release. If you want to set it up onto the heels, we swing the arms a little. You can interlace the fingers, open through the chest. And then when you're ready, come over, find a seat. We're gonna make our way all the way down onto our backs. So getting into a little bit of bridging, just to warm up through that back body, through the glutes. So walking the feet in. Feet are hips width distance, knees toward the ceiling. Let the upper body be heavy. So as we get into this, we wanna think more about our Pilates bridge rather than our yoga bridge. So we're not looking for that big arch. We're looking for a long line from that sternum out through that pubic bone. We're not gonna be lifting as high, a lot of core control, a lot of glute activation. Press the arms down into the mat. Inhale, slowly start to roll the spine all the way up. So once again, you're not gonna lift as high. You should really feel those glutes activate. Pull everything to that midline. Inhaling here. Exhale, release all the way down, rolling through the spine. Couple more just like that. Pressing into all 4 corners of the feet. Let the head be heavy, neck is relaxed. Moving with your breath. The next time we lift up, go ahead and hold. Finding that engagement, finding a place you can sustain. Inhaling here. Exhale, now taking this in one piece, lowering the hips to a hover above the ground. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Now we're moving that long line all the way down to a hover, lifting just back up to that point we started. So once again, not finding that big arch. Exhale, hover. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, lift. Holding at the top in 3. Keep breathing. 2. Last one here, hold at the top. Now little squeezes higher and higher. We're just squeezing up and up. Super small. Should barely see the hips moving. Keep the shoulders relaxed. We have 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way down. Can let the legs fall side to side a little bit. Let it go. And then bring the knees into your chest. Roll it to either one side or up through center. We're going to meet in our tabletop position. I'm going to offer you to bring those forearms back down to the mat here, stacking elbows underneath shoulders. If this is uncomfortable, just pop up, find those palms on the mat. Knees start underneath the hips. Press equally through whatever parts of the arms are on the mat, flexing that left foot. Start to lift that left heel toward the ceiling. So we have a 90-degree angle bent in this knee. Heel is driving toward the ceiling. Exhale, release that knee back down to meet the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So as we get moving here, we still have the hips equally level, not lifting that left hip as the leg lifts. Low back is long, pulling in through the tummy. Checking in also that we're not falling over to the right side here. Think about sending more weight into the left, especially in those hips. Keeping these controlled, finding that glute squeeze at the top. Exhale, release. Holding the leg behind you. In 3. Keep pulling the chest away from the mat for 2. Last one here, drive that heel toward the ceiling, holding. Little squeezes up and up. So once again, think all up, no down, super small, just like in our bridge. Should barely see it moving, we're just squeezing through that glute. Make sure you're breathing. Changing this up in 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that left knee down to meet the right. Now keeping the shape in the leg. Leg opens out to the left, lowers back down. Little lift and lower. Checking in. Don't let those hips fall to the right. Now we're working into that outer glute. Keeping the belly strong, equal weight in both arms. Leg stays lifted out to the side. Foot is still engaged in 4, 3, last 2. Last one here, hold that leg up. Little pulses with that knee, higher and higher. Really squeeze in through that right side body. Make sure you're not collapsing. Pulsing the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down, both knees plant. Pop the hands up if you aren't there already. We're gonna step this left leg through, finding our short lunge, our back lunge here. So as you're ready, start to rise. We have a bend in both knees here. Front heel, that left heel is planting into the earth. Try to get high on that back foot. Both hips are pointing toward the front of your mat, so really think about driving that left hip back, right hip forward. Shoulders are over the hips or slightly forward here. Pull in through the tummy, tailbone is long. Hands can be on the hips, they can be at heart center, wherever feels good for you. From here, we're bringing it down an inch, up an inch. So really think about pressing through that left heel. We'll feel it in that right leg as well. think about sending more weight into that front foot. Try to ungrip through the toes. Make sure you're breathing, relax the shoulders. Holding it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one here, hold it low. Keep the hips level as we lift that left heel, lower down. Little lift and lower. Nothing else changes. Relax through the face. We only have 4, 3, 2. Last one here, release that heel down. Now start to bring all of your weight into that left foot. Pick that right knee up in front of you. Find your balance. Holding here, and then send it all the way back, finding your lunge. Press through that left heel lift. Send it back. So if sending up all the way onto that left foot is too much, just bring the right toes to tap down and then find your lunge. So this is a great place to be, little tap, pressing back. You're still getting that nice press off of that left foot as you lift and lower. Keep these controlled. We're staying at the top. Last 2. Last one here, hold it at the top. Get those shoulders over the hips. Give that left glute a little squeeze. Now start to hinge the chest forward. Send that right leg back. We're coming into our warrior 3 here. That right foot taps the ground, lifts back up. Stay open through the chest. Little bend in that left knee for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it all the way up. Release that right foot to meet the left. Shake it out, let it go. Nice job. Go ahead, make your way back down. Find your tabletop. We're gonna switch sides. So give those hips a little rock if you need to. Release that leg. Then when you're ready, if you did forearms before, try to do the same as whatever you did for that left side. Bring the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Let the arms press into the mat. Neck is long. Taking a flex in that right foot, start to drive that heel toward the ceiling. Release it down. Little press up and release. Keep these slow, keep these controlled, making sure we're not dumping all of our weight over into that left side, especially that left hip. Think about sending more weight into that right side. Pull in through the tummy, making sure we're not dumping into the low back as well. Tailbone is long, holding it high in 3. Squeezing the glute at the top, last 2. Last one here, hold that heel toward the ceiling. Little pulses, higher and higher. Squeezing that right glute. Super small movement here. Should barely see it moving. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the knees down to meet. Now starting to open that right knee out to the right. Lower back down. Little open and lower. So nothing changes once again. The hips don't follow that knee. Getting into that outer glute here. Keep the foot flexed. Keep pressing the ground away with your arms or your palms wherever you are. Holding the leg to the side in 3, 2. Last one here, hold that leg up. Little pulses with the knee, higher and higher. Super small. Keep the shoulders, the hips level. Pulsing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the knee down. Press up to those palms if you aren't there already. And then step that right foot through. So we're coming back up, finding that short lunge. Get your stability and then lift. Take a bend in both knees here. Really think about sending more weight into that front foot. Keep that back heel high. So we bring it down an inch, up an inch. Shoulders are over the hips or slightly forward here. Try to ungrip through the toes. Relax through the face. I like keeping my hands on my hips. I can really tell if I'm hiking up through one side or if they're not level. They can also come to heart center, wherever's comfortable for you. Holding it low. In 3, 2. Last one here, hold it nice and low, bending into both knees. Now lift up that right heel, lower. Little lift, lower. Try not to move anything else in the body. This can be a super small lift, or this can be a big lift. Heel stays down. In 3, 2. Last one here, lower that heel down. Now pressing off through that right foot. Bring that left knee into your chest. Find your balance. Shoulders over hips. And then press it all the way back. Find your lunge. Once again, launching up, lowering down. Really think about sending all of your weight into that right foot. Find your stability. Try not to go side to side here. So taking your time. We're staying at the top. In 3. Core is strong. Last 2. Last one here. Bring it all the way up. Squeeze that right glute, little bit in that right knee. Start to hinge the chest forward. Send that left leg back. Warrior 3 here. Left toes tap down. Lift up. Find your point of focus with the eyes. Keep the core strong, chest open. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee up, release it down, shake it out. Nice job. Go ahead, squat, sit down. We're gonna bring it all the way down onto our back for some core work. So make your way there. Walking the heels in toward the glutes. Go ahead, take a moment, find your breath. Maybe place the hands on the belly, make that connection. We've done a lot of standing work so far, so take some time to enjoy being down on the back before we add into that core. Right, knees toward the ceiling, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Let that head be heavy into the hands. Inhaling here, exhale, curl toward the knees. Inhale to lower, exhale, curl. So starting to warm up here, checking in with a few points before we build on. Try to let that tailbone be heavy. Try to let the glutes relax. Thinking more on that curl about the ribs and the hips coming closer together rather than lifting the head toward the legs. So really let the head be heavy. Both hips are equal into the mat. We're avoiding arching behind the low back. Right, big exhale to lift, inhale, lower. For 3. Last 2. Last one here, lifting, lower it down. Bring the arms down by your sides. Legs are gonna stay in this bent angle. Bring that left knee up to tabletop, release. Bring that right knee up, release. So when we're lifting, we're only coming to let the knee rest over the hip and then tapping it back down. You can stay with this pace, especially if that's the way that you maintain that strong center, hips level, no curve in that low back. You can also bring the legs to start in that tabletop, keeping this bend in the knees. Tap one foot down and the other. So the feet do not have to come all the way down to the floor. See what you need. Let that head, that upper body be relaxed. Let the arms press down into the mat. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift back up. The tummy pulled down. Let's do 2 more each way. Last one. Make sure you're not just bending at the knee here. and 1. We're really finding that hinge. Now you're welcome to keep the legs at tabletop, or you can release the feet back down to the mat. Here you are. Find that pull in through the center, hands behind the head. Inhaling here. Exhale, adding a twist, twisting to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Taking this side to side. As we do so, making sure that our knees are not moving with us. They're staying stable. Check in with that breath for 3. Head is still heavy into the hands. Last 2. If this is too much for the low back, just lower the feet to the mat. Last 1. And 1. Release it down. Hands come out long. Knees start at tabletop. Extend that left leg out long on a diagonal. Back through center. Right leg reaches. Back through center. Little leg reaches. Side to side. Checking in. If you feel that low back arching, just send the legs a little higher. You don't have to go super low. If you're keeping that stability and you want to challenge yourself, send them a little lower here. Keep the abs pulled down. Keep the face relaxed. 2 more each way, and then we're going to put these all together. Find your breath. Last 1 and 1. Starting back, legs at tabletop, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Inhaling. Exhale, twist to the left. Send that right leg out at the diagonal. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Send that left leg out. So controlled bicycles, side to side. If you'd like, you can bring the head and chest down in between each round, or you can leave it hovering in center. Really finding that exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Keep the elbows out wide. Making sure that knee doesn't come past the hip. Really think about stretching the chest toward the knee. We have 3. Last 2. Last 1 each way. And 1. Holding here. Option to lower the head and chest. Reach both legs out a diagonal and hold. Breathe. They can always be up toward the ceiling. They can always be a little lower. Maybe lift the chest a little higher for 3, 2, 1. Release the head, release the legs. Send everything out long. Find a full body stretch. Opening through that center. And then bring both knees in. Rock a little side to side. Maybe add in a twist, any other stretch you would like. And you guys are finished. Awesome job.